start doing the numerical part. That is the first method which we are doing today is in this session is north-west corner method. So start writing north-west corner method, right? Start doing the numerical question. You have given the cost matrix, that is the cost matrix, that is the transportation cost is given to you. That is from one job to the destination, how much cost will be incurred of. That is given to you, right? So start doing the question and the cost matrix is given over you like this way. We have given the information. We have given like three suppliers are there, S1, S2 and S3, and we have given the metrics, cost metrics and the destination, say example D1, D2 and D3 is given to you, right? And when we supply the goods from S1 to D1, the cost is 4 rupees. From S1 to D2, it is 8. From S1 to D3, it is again 8 rupees per unit. From S2 to D1, it is 16, then it is 24 and 16. From S1, when the goods are supplied from supply third, that is the unit number 3, till the D1, that is the destination 1, then the cost is 8, 16, that is S3 to D2, and it is 24, right? Further, we have given one more information related to this, that is the supply, the total supply, right? By the S1, the supply destination till the destination, and here we have given the demand, that is the requirement by the different job working there or the warehousing, right? Now the supply it is given over here, note down it's 76. The S2 it is given as 82 and it is given as 77. And for the requirement, that is the demand we have given, the demand for the D1 is 72, note down, it is 102 and it is 41, right? So this is the information given to us. From this information, what we have to find out, the initial feasible solution. You have to find out initial feasible solution. This is one of the important questions that is related to transportation problem. Transportation problem, and one of the important method is north-west corner method. The word itself indicated that we will start allocating from the north. Then once the north is completed and we convert it into west and continue till all the allocations is wind up. Before starting the question, always remember you have to find out whether your solution, whether your matrix is a balanced matrix or not. Then only proceed further. So we have to check it whether that the total demand and supply are same or not, whether the question is of balance. So what we have to find out first, we have to find out what we find out whether the question information given to you, information given is whether the information given is a balanced matrix, whether it is a balanced matrix or unbalanced matrix. If it is unbalanced, then we have to create a dummy rows as well as the dummy column, depend upon the situation. And if it is a balance, then you can proceed further. So how we can find it is a balance or not balance? We have to find out the total demand and supply, right? We have to find out total demand and the total supply, right? So the total demand is adding all the values, that is 72 plus 102 plus 41, and that will be equals to 215, right? For the supply, when we are given up 76 plus 82 plus 77, and it is equal to 235. That indicates that the demand and supply are not equal, since the demand value, this value is adding up is 215, and when we add all the supply value, it is when we adding all this value, then it is 235. That means something is missing over there. That means we have to create a dummy column, right? So create a dummy column with the balance amount. Dummy we have to create, and the total of that dummy value will be 235 minus 215. That will be equal to 20, right? Now again you have to create a new matrix. New matrix you have to create after including dummy part, right? Dummy element you have to include. You can write it part or element on that. And the value for the dummy, you all know that we will take it as 0 only, right? So write it over here as 1, S2, S3, and now we have D1, D2, D3 as per the question. But now we have created one dummy, that is the D4 column, and the rest information is same as it is given earlier. So write down all the values as given up. So value it is given as 488. So write it over here as 488. And over here we create a dummy that is 0. Here it is 16, 24, and it is 16. Again we take it as 0. And for S3 it is 8, 16, and 24. And again the value as 0. The total demand as we have given up how much is 72. It is over 102, then 41. And the balance what we created over here is 20, right? And the supply we have given us, what is the value of the supply? Total supply by the S1 is 76, 82, and we have given 77. Right now we can add up, and then we have demand and supply equal. Now apply the northwest corner method, and basically what we will do in the northwest corner, give the quantity as much as you can, but to the north area, right, from the north side. So start up north side is this one, that is extreme left corner, that is the D1 to S1. And how much quantity we can give up over here, check it. It is the demand required by the D1 is 72 units, but actually they can supply 76. So lower of the supply and demand, that is what will be 72 over here. So write it 72 quantity allocation, we can do 72. This will be 0, and the remaining part over here will be 4. Right, when it is 0, so what we do when the some element is 0, just make it delete, right? What we do, we make it delete, or we can make it with a pencil like cancel like this way. Okay, now coming up, proceed further again on the next step, that we can go for the next level, that we check northwest corner again to this side. Yes, we can give the allocation, and that is only 4, because 102 and 4, what we can give the maximum value, that is 4. So the remaining balance point will be 0 over here, and 102 minus 4, that will be 98. Right, now again what we have done, we have given the value, that means S1, the supplier one is fulfilled up, 72 units are given up, 4 is also given up, that is 76 will be wind up, right? Now coming up to the next same process, we are going up to the next. Then this one is your north corner, 24, having the balance, that is a demand requirement of 98 and the supply requirement of 82. So we will give the maximum allocation over there is 82. The remaining balance will be 0, and 98 minus 82 will be 16, the balancing remains. Okay, same the process will carry on. This now this row has been deleted up as all the elements are given up, right? Now coming up to the next point, that is the S3. Yes, you have to give the allocation, that is 16 over here, right? And from 77 you have given 16, so the remaining point will be 61, right? And this is 0. Once the element is become 0, try to cancel it so that it will not get mistake. So all the allocation of D2 is all done now, right? Now what we have to see, we have to see the D3, the allocation given to D3, that is a north corner, that's 24. And how much allocation we can give to this one is, like 41 is there and 61, so maximum what we can give it is 41, and the remaining balance over here is 0, and 61 minus 41, that will be 20, the remaining balance, right? Now again that D3 is wind up, right? D3 is wind up, so all the allocation of D3 is wind up. Now we have the D4, the remaining balance. Well, how much we can give it to D4, that is only 20, because 20 is the demand and 20 is the requirement, so its value again will be 0. Now we can see it, all the allocations being done up properly. How we can check it? Check it all being become 0 at the last. Yes, it is become 0. So final allocation, how we do the final allocation and find the initial feasible solution? Write it over here. Initial feasible solution, you have to write over here. Initial feasible solution of transportation problem. We have solved the initial feasible solution of the transportation problem by which method? Northwest corner method is, like for example, now we have taken the above from S1, we have supplied to D1. How much units we have supplied? 72 units, right? So we write it over here as 72 units, and that 70 units at a cost of rupees, how much? That is 4. So 72 multiply 4, that your cost will come up, right? Now from S1 we have supplied to D2 also. Yes, we have supplied to D2 also. How much unit we have supplied to D2? That is 4 units. So write it over here as 4 units multiply by, at a cost of, what is the cost of that? Is 8, right? So this multiply by this value and we will write it over here. Now from S1 to D3 and D4 is nowhere. Right now we're coming up to the S2 value, supply from S2. So check it. Yes, from S2 when we are supplying, then we can give it to the D2. Then D2 will be how much units we have given? 82 units, right? 82 units. Have a look on this. It is 82 units. So 82 units are allotted till at a rate of rupees 24. So 82 multiply 24, the value will come up over here. Now coming up to S2, no other quantity is being supplied to any D1, D2, D3. So we are coming up to the next category, that is supply 3. The supplier third has transferred to D1, no, not at all. Now it transferred to D2, yes, how much units? 16 units. So write it over here as D2, how much units we have supplied? 16 units we have supplied it at a cost of, what is the cost for that? From S3 to D2 is 16 rupees. So write it over here and then calculate the value and the overall performance. But from S3, not only D2, we have supplied to D3 also and D4 also. So write it over here, S3 to D3 and S3 to D4 also, right? So you have to write it each and every unit from where you have transferred the goods, right? From this, we have transferred, how much units we have transferred, as it is written, 41 units at a rate of rupees 24. So write it 41 units, and the cost for 41 is how much? As we have just discussed, 41 units at a rate of rupees 24. So write it over here as 24 and then multiply that value. And from this, we have transferred 20 units, last one, and the cost for 20 units, as it is a dummy, so it is 0. So now what we have to do, multiply all the values. This last value is definitely 0. Starting from this, 72 multiplied by 4, that is 288. 4 multiplied by 8 is 32. 82 units multiplied by 24, that will become as 1968. 16 units multiplied by 16, that is 256. 41 units that multiply by 24, that will be 984. And the last one is 20 units multiplied by 0, that was definitely 0. Sum up all these values, the answer will come up 3528. So the total initial feasible solution for this transportation problem is 3526. After that, finally, you have to find out that the number of allocation, one condition is also there, and you have to find that condition, whether that condition is fulfilled or not. What is that condition? That number of allocations, whatever the allocations you have done, is always equals to your row plus column, that is column plus row minus 1. So check it, number of allocations, how much allocations we have done in this question. We have done 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So how much allocation we have done? Basically, we have done 6 allocation. And in this question, how much rows and columns are there? Just check it over there. Check the matrix. We have the matrix of 3 by 3, but we have created a one dummy. So 3 plus 4, that is 7. 7 minus 1, 6. Yes, that means number of rows are equal to number of that number of allocations is equal to m plus n1 minus 1. That means this case is of no degeneracy, right? That means no further function you have to find out. This is the final solution for your transportation problem with the help of northwest corner method. After finding the initial feasible solution by the different methods, definitely we will able to find out the best or the optimum solution, and that is done by with the help of a Modi method, right? That will be do later on. Now we are coming up to the next topic, that is now we doing the question of LCM method, like how the LCM method will work up and how we calculate the initial feasible solution with the help of LCM method. What is the full form of LCM method over here is, write down, that is least cost method. Least cost method. Or before starting the least cost method, what will we do? We can do one more numerical question. Okay, so started with over there only least cost method. So how we do this least cost method? What we do in the least cost method, we have to find out the least cost value of the metric which we have done. Before starting, like what we have to do, we don't have to find out with the northwest corner. We find out which one is the least value, find the least value and just allot as much as you can in that value, right? So taking one illustration over here, yes, definitely you have to find out whether the balance or not. Yes, that is the same point. Okay, so startup, that again we have taken one question that you have given S1, S2, S3, right? And we have given the data over here, destinations, different D1, D2, and D3, right? Now, the value over here, it is, I'm taking a very reasonable value, that is 2, 3, 4, okay? Now it is over here, is the example, write it over here 1, write it over here 6, now here is 7, okay, now done, it's 5, now over here is 10, and then we can write it as 12, right? We have given the supply, how much supply can be done up, we have to find out, we have to given the demand, that is a demand, another name for the demand is the requirement. Actually, how much requirement is there, right? So the demand and the supply, that is a capacity. Another name for the supply is capacity. It can be given in any word, so don't worry with that. So we have given, say, example 10, 20, and 30. That is given in the information, and we're taking over here as 30, 20, 10. Right. So this is the scenario of the case. Now you have to find out the initial feasible solution with the help of LCM. So what we have to do when we have to find this type of question? What we will do first of all, hurry up, tell me in the chat box what you will say. What we have to do first of all? Yes, we have to find out whether the question is of balance or not. So the solution for this is, first we find out the total of demand. First, we have to find, yes, whether the demand is equal or not. So total of demand is equal to 30, 20, that is 50 plus 10, that is 60 units. And total of, this is always to be done up whether you are doing of any of the method, but you have to find out first of all that the total is matching or not, whether the question is of balance or not balance. Again, 10 plus 20 plus 30, that means 60. So yes, the demand and supply are equal, that the question is of balance metric. You don't have to create any dummy, no need of any dummy. So no dummy requirement, right? No dummy requirement. You are not required to create any dummy as it is of balance. Now what we have to do, least cost. So find out the least cost, which one is the least cost in this question is, and give the allocation as much as to the least cost value. So the least cost is 1 from all of the above, from all the rows and columns. So we find out the least cost is 1. So the allocations can be done to this list cost, and how much allocation we can done, that it is required, D2 required 20 units and they can supply 20 units. So the allocation is done up 20 and 20. So this is all done. We completed this metric and we delete this row, that is G2, and we can delete this column also and S2. So both, because all the units being done. Now find out the next least cost from the remaining matrix. Remember, we have to find out the least cost from the remaining element only. So the remaining point is 2, 4, 5, and 12. What will be the least cost? That will be S1, D1, that is 2, right? So give the allocation from this only. Start giving the allocation, how much we can give up. This is 30, that is 10. So the maximum allocation can be done as 10. The value will be 0 as the remaining, and this value is 10 we have given, so it is remaining pending as 20, right? Now this is your 20, that is the remaining allocation. Now this G1 are still remaining, so we won't delete this cell because the pendings are there. But if we are giving the S1, that is full supply capacity is done up as it is 0. Right. Now again we have to find out the least one. Least one is now the 5 and the 12. So from 5 and 12, the remaining, that is the least one is 5. Give the allocation. How much allocation we can give? 20. Right. So pending over here will be 10 and the 20 will be become 0. Now that seems to be that S1 is done up, right? And coming over here also be remaining 10. So give the allocation to D3 to S3, that is 10. So here also the remaining is 0, here also remaining is 0. All the cells are being wind up and all are getting a 0, 0, 0 at the end. Yes, we are all done up. So we will able to find out, write it over here, the total initial feasible solution of transportation problem by which method we have done? Least cost method. Now we have done with the least LCM, that is a least cost method. And what we find out the least cost method? Again, same allocation from S1 to D1, we have given the allocation, right? So write it S1 to D1, 10 units at a rate of rupees 2. So write it over here, how much allocation? From S1, we have given how much unit to D1, right? 10 units at a rate of rupees 2. So write it 10 units at a rate of rupees 2 per unit. So multiply by rupees 2 per unit, that will become of rupees 20. So total cost will be 20 over here, right? Now from S1 to D1 is done up. Now the rest one is S1 to D2 is not there, not D3, but S2 to D1. Is there any units? No. S2 to D2, yes, 20 units is there at a rate of rupees 1. So write it over here, S2 from supply to D2, how much units we have done? We have done 20 units at a rate of rupees 1. So write it over here, 20 units multiply by 1, that will become up rupees 20, right? Now coming up with the next point, let that this is the last allocation or still the allocation is pending. Yes, still allocation is pending. This is 20 bacha. Okay, coming up to the next point, the next allocation is S3 to D1, that is 20 units. S3 to D1, right? And how much units are there? That is 20 units and at a rate of rupees 5. So write it over here, 20 units, and that 20 units at what rate? At a rate of rupees 5. So that will be equals to 20 multiplied by 5, that is rupees 100. Right? Now from S3 to D1 we have done up. S3 to D2 is not there, but S3 to D3, 10 units has been transferred at a rate of rupees 12. So S3 to D3, how much units we have done? S3 to D3, which we have seen over here, 10 units at a rate of rupees 12. So write it over down, 10 units multiplied by 12. That will be equals to 120 rupees, right? Write it over here, that is 120. So check it how much allocation we have done, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check on the matrix also, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, the total allocation is 4. Sum up all the values, 20 plus 20, this 20 plus 20 plus 100 plus this, that is 2, 4, 5, 6, that is 60 over here, 1 and 2. So total 260 cost you have done up. Initial feasible solution is your 260, but find it when the number of rows and columns is equal to m plus n minus 1. So 3 rows are there, 3 columns are there, 3 plus 3. Write it over here. Number of allocations, how much allocation you have done up. Number of allocations should be equal to m plus n. M over here is the rows and columns coordination, right? So number of allocation is equals to m plus n minus 1, that is rows and column. 3 plus 3 minus 1, that is 6 minus 1 will be 5, right? Number of allocation is come as to be As we have given the allocation 1, 2, 3, 4 allocation is there, but m plus n minus 1, that is 3 plus 3, 6, 6 minus 1, that is 5. No, in this question, since it is not equal, that means you have to give a degeneracy. So this question is of degeneracy, and that means you have to create an adjustment in this question, and after adjustment you have to find are you able to find out the initial feasible solution or not. And if after adjustment still you are not able to find out the question, again you have to proceed further for your next scenario, that is the initial feasible solution, then adjustment, until the number of allocation is not equal to m plus n minus 1. And once it is done, then you can apply the upgraded point for finding the optimum solution with the help of Modi method.